Hi, it's Jeff Quintin again here at Prudential Fox & Roach Realtors. Today I want to share with you a report that's entitled How to Get Your Listing Sold Report by Mike Ferry. Now Mike Ferry is my own personal real estate coach for my business over 10 years. Now little information about Mike, okay? Mike has basically prepared this report to share with me, to share with you, okay? And I'm going to provide this report to you so you can see how my real estate coach is coaching me to get your home sold. Now, number one is, I want to share this with you. Mike is the 5th most influential person in real estate, and this is recognized by the National Association of Realtors, along with the U.S. President, U.S. Congress, Alan Greenspan, and Henry Silverman. Okay, so this is from Mike. So this is entitled How to Get Your Listing Sold Report. And I'm just going to give you a few points that are from this complete report. I'm going to be able to provide this so that you guys can go ahead and read through what they're coaching me to coach you with as far as getting your home sold. Number one, he says, price the property the day you take the listing. In other words, it means if it's $1 above the CMA, the comparative market analysis that we do, he says here to turn it down. He says don't take a listing that's just overpriced. He says that his suggestion is, when I'm on a listing presentation, is to determine the real market value and actually then take 3 to 5% off of that price and insist you as a seller to list it at that price. And the reason why he's saying, guys, is we're in a declining market. We've got to be ahead of the declining curve so that we can always be ahead of the market and get your property positioned right. Okay, that's number one. Second point I wrote down here was, he says, since buyers have multiple choices, always remember the condition of the property is very critical in the sales process. And he says, whether I critique the property myself or hire a staging company, either one, he says, do not list the property unless the condition is perfect. So let's go ahead and make sure that our condition of our property is great. If it's not, we need to go ahead and get it in perfect condition, okay? Next item here is what he recommends is, hey, if your property hasn't sold in 14 to 21 days, make the following presentation to you as a seller. One is, if your motivation is still strong, we need to always be number one or number two among all the homes for sale in your competition, in position. In other words, we should always be a minimum of 5% below all of our competition in price. So we can always hold the number one or two position that's out there, but being below the price, so offering obviously the most for the least, okay? Second item is, he says again, always be number one or two in the price in terms of location. Next item I wrote down is, we always have to learn real quickly what your seller, as a seller, what your bottom line is, okay? And in the first 30 to 45 days, I've got to work my butt off to make sure I can get you close as possible to the bottom line number you want and price it to that number. Not stay way up here knowing you're willing to come down. Price it to the bottom line number so I can go work hard to get you that number, okay? Next item says that, hey, if we've shown your property to qualified, motivated buyers and we've gotten no offers, consider you as a seller making the buyer an offer. In other words, we write the offer up at the price we want, the price we're willing to accept with our terms, then we go back to the buyer, so we simply just get them to make a decision with a contract in front of them. That's getting the seller to make an offer to the buyer. Pretty interesting, and it works. He says in here that right now we have to make sure that every property we list is very easy to show with no excuses. Next item he says here is, start educating you as a seller that right now your first offer is always your best offer. He says the first offer is always the best offer. So if we get another offer on the property, or we do get an offer, typically the first one's the best. He talks about here that every 30 days we have to look at your motivation. Really where you are. Has things changed? And if things are changing on a more motivated basis, we've got to reflect it in price. Okay. He says that every time we get a price reduction, we should actually withdraw the property from the market and put it back in as a new listing, so it comes in as a brand new listing showing 0 days in the market and also a new price. Okay, so here's just a couple of things. Let's talk about it. Take a look at all these items in this report, and let's talk about your situation, and we'll go ahead. If we need to reduce the price, let's go ahead and make that happen now. Give me a call. It's Jeff Quintin. Reach me direct, 609-398-5333. Email me, jeff@jeffquintin.com. And I look forward to our conversation being the best call of your day.